very simply put, this is an extraordinary event. And I'm very grateful to be here because I think it's extraordinary because it's so important. And in a way, it's disappointing that there aren't more events like this happening all the time. And so I just want to cover 3 very quick points in this I'm trying to do a Venn diagram with my hands. Bear with me, please. So there's something about the manufacturing bit. And I know this is a ridiculous statement to make, but I'm going to make it anyway, that every single thing that we can see right now, unless it's a plant, a rock, a person, or some other animal, has been manufactured. We live in a manufactured world, and yet somehow that message has got a bit lost. The importance of making things has got a bit lost. And I'm sure you've been to similar events where people have been very excited about, material science and how important it is. And it is really, really important. But somehow the whole process of going from that material into some sort of components, into some sort of product to address some sort of need, that whole chain doesn't always get explained. It's just like we do that bit. Or we're talking about incredible things that should exist. And we go, well, we'll do the clever bit. And then there's this sort of implementation bit. We chuck it over the wall and someone makes it. That's just the easy bit. And this is something that makes me and many of my colleagues at the Institute for Manufacturing extremely angry. And I suspect by the nods in the room at the moment, makes you angry as well. What a ridiculous idea that there's a clever bit of science and technology and innovation, and then there's just implementation. It's one thing. And if there's a message to take, one of the 3 messages I hope we'll take away from this evening is that this innovative side of manufacturing is vitally important if we are to deliver on what Doug was proposing. And by the way, I hope Doug goes into politics because I would definitely vote for him. So there's this manufacturing bit, just making sure we don't lose sight of that as we go into the exciting world of AI and LLMs and all these agentic things. Physical things need to get made. That's why this event is so important. That's number 1. Number 2 is it is always going to involve people. There will always be people involved in manufacturing. And this idea that all of this new clever stuff comes along and pushes people out, I don't think any of us really believe that can ever happen. And it shouldn't happen. And so there's this whole idea of how do we make sure we have the people with the right skills to operate in this dual world of the very physical with the very digital. And we do see that skill set is something we don't perhaps yet fully have we don't have enough of them in the UK. So there's the manufacturing bit, there's the people bit, and then there's the technology bit itself. And I'm way out of my depth in a room like this talking about technology, but there's something about the automation in the broadest sense, automation of the physical stuff and automation of the cognitive stuff. And just being really smart about how those things link together with the skills we need from people in the context of really making things. So again, I'm going to be really, really brief. I reckon if we can make sure we attract the best, the smartest people into manufacturing who absolutely get the very visceral nature of making physical things, who are also skilled and capable in the digital space, that's going to be very, very powerful. And I think just picking up on one point that's been raised a couple of times, which is we can overshoot a bit quickly if we're not careful. And there may be 1 or 2 of our former students in the room here who might have heard this story before, but I do remember some of our students have been given a fantastic lecture on agentic, digital, LLM, blah, blah, all the buzzwords in one go. And they were then sent off into one of their industrial projects. And they charged into the room with the managing director of this amazing sensor company. And they said, yeah, we're going to have this mesh network with the sensors and the cameras. And it's going to be brilliant. Slightly awkward silence. And the ops manager said, yeah, that's great. The thing is, most of our data is handwritten on bits of paper. So the project we'd like you to do is to type that into Excel. And I say that for effect, but it's the point that was made earlier about made smarter, and just getting the basic level of capability of digitalness up a notch or 2 is going to make a massive difference. So if we can do that and get people in who understand the answer isn't all digital, it's absolutely understanding context and the specificity. And if we can make sure that we leverage these great technologies in the most effective ways. And it isn't just about automation. It's about those 3 areas of the augmentation bit. It helps humans do what humans do really well, but better. There is automation for certain tasks. And then there's slightly still needs to be bounded topic of autonomy. We've got to understand all of those things are on a bit of a continuum. We need to move between them. But the final bit, so if we can get the manufacturing bit right and get the best people in, if we can balance this idea of the physical with the cognitive, and if we can get to this point where we're not just saying manufacturing is this old and slightly knackered thing which can be jazzed up with some clever tech, that's the wrong message. There are massive benefits to be reaped by bringing these digital and AI technologies to manufacturing, but it's also about the frontier. It's the new manufacturing. It's the new things we can do if we have these capabilities joined up. And I reckon that we've got a pretty good chance of doing that. What we need, though, we don't need just Matta. What we need is 100 Mattas, 1,000 companies like this that have this ambition to do something amazing, who want to play as part of an ecosystem. They really want to be bringing people together and making stuff happen at a scalable level in a very inclusive way. It is, as has been said several times already, it's about collaboration. And I think I really do believe that what we're seeing here tonight needs to be replicated tenfold, 100-fold, if we're really going to have an effect. And if we do that, I reckon we can start to deliver what we at the Institute for Manufacturing are trying to do, which is to manufacture a better world, or to put it in the words of Sir John, which was that we need to be here to help engineer better lives. That's all I want to say. Thank you very much for your time and attention.